So I'm an absolute noob, as it turns out. There is a microphone button on this streaming deck I'm using, and maybe that's the reason why you didn't hear me for the beginning. So let's see if that works out now. I'm dropping frames as I'm sending this, I think. Okay. Sorry for the wait. So I'm guessing the sound quality is a bit odd. I find this really confusing. And as you can hear, the sound is like this thing that I actually do not endorse in my videos. Okay. Okay, current view is 4, so I can apologize to 4 people. That's fine. Let me just trust it works. I'm running on too many computers, and I might be. Let's see. The current bitrate is low, so maybe forgive me if this is a little awkward for now. Right now, this is the second live stream I'm doing. I'm just too lazy to edit answered questions, and that's why I'm actually trying to do these live streams more often. And while I'm doing these more often, maybe you get used to what's happening here, and I get used to what I have to do to make this work more easily. Okay, so there was this question rising up here, and actually the estimate market volume of projection mapping in 2025. Well, this is an old study. Is estimated to $3.56 billion in the US. I think it's so. This is a big market. We're talking about big markets here, and I'm not really sure if those big markets attract people who are in for the money to do projection mapping for the money. Let me tell you, if you're here watching this channel to learn about video projection mapping, and you're in for the money at the same time, that is leave as soon as possible, because you're doing it wrong. There's definitely no way you're gonna make money out of projection mapping just like this. It's a long process, and let's say, okay, let me answer some questions that came up over the emails I received over the last few weeks. So I'm hoping this is fine. Let me see. So you can hear me loud and clear. That's nice. Sound is good. Oh, the audio is very clear. Thanks. Let's see how this works out. Okay. Right. I got some questions. Reasonable questions, actually. One of which came from Michelle. Michelle is a subscriber from America, from South America, and check out her Instagram. It's worth it. And Michelle actually asked me if I could answer some questions, and I've refused to answer those questions because I thought, oh my god, this is writing emails and stuff. So I set up this live stream to answer her questions and some other questions. So here we go. The first question was actually the most vulnerable of all questions for the job I'm doing. Who reaches out to you? Does the director reach out to you? And I'm working a lot in theaters, and even the other jobs I do, the industrial jobs I do, most of them are really hard to tell how they work out, how they actually appear on my schedule. So yes, sometimes directors call me or send me an email. They saw my YouTube channel or something, or yeah, we're talking about new contacts here. I mean, there's of course people who I have been working with, and they come back, and we have a kind of ongoing working situation, which is great because I like the trust they bring in. And let me get back to this, the ongoing working relations. Let me come back to that a little later. But there is directors calling me, there is stage designers calling me, there is producers calling me, there is like intendants, like the managing directors of the theaters. They call me sometimes. It's a weird combination of people who want to get in contact with you, but mostly it's directors and stage designers who get in contact and say, we need video projections for our work, and that's fine. It's great to get in contact with those people that easily, but at the same time, there's always this huge gap between what people expect from video projections or video mapping and what you can offer, and then already you start this discussion like, okay, you want video projections, what do you want them for? And I think one of the best references for dealing with clients is my friend Martin, who is going to start a YouTube channel soon. And I guess he's starting this YouTube channel. He's going to start this YouTube channel likely with a live stream about how bad my English is. So he's the one who I picked my English up. But he's the one I'm referring to when it's about contacting and getting in contact with clients, potential clients, or clients themselves. And it's really difficult to see the expectations, see what you can do, and then bridge between the two things. Because you can create great things in video projection art, but at the same time, the expectations can be really high, but most times, that's strange, they are really low. So they call you and say, yeah, we have a premiere next week, and we need some fire to be projected. That's when you actually ask them, did you go on, I don't know, one of those footage portals, and did you try to get some fire there? Because I'm doing video projections, so there's more to it. And this is the second question where it comes to when Michelle asked me what my first job was. The first job was not doing a complete video projection design, whatever. It was creating a video. I'm not talking about one specific job, but it was the first thing that got projected for me was they asked me if we could have some moving moon behind, and that was when it all started, and it was horrible. So then things got on, and I think the first job I might really refer to as the first real job in projection mapping is one that I can't talk about because at that time I didn't know what a non-disclosure agreement is, so I signed it, and now I can't really talk about it, which is a pain. But it wasn't the most pleasurable. It was certainly not the job that I got in. And that made me continue with video projection mapping. I'm sure there was one very intense two week session with two artists, Eva Paulic and Uta Weirich, who I knew from my music studies, and we were friends, like loose friends, and they were collecting videos from mobile phones from younger people. And they were trying to find a way how to present this, and I was at the same time developing an artwork that I wanted to put up there somewhere. So that was the opportunity to do it, and I would like to show you this this one thing that happened. So there was this room where we were invited to, and we would hang up those plates. Like cardboard it's a little different from cardboard, but it's like cardboard. We put them up like this, and it was really difficult to explain all that what I had in mind while I didn't really know what we're doing. So so this was our first encounter with Uta and Eva, and it ended up being one of the most successful collaborations that I had there. And it was not really a job. It was more like an invitation to participate in an artistic project that was really difficult to do. We had three of these small office projectors they had sitting around there, and then there was this plates, and we wanted to create an immersive room where people could walk in between those videos and see those videos and feel them around them. So that was kind of the first real mapping job that I took after this other the other industrial stuff and a lot of projections that just happened on plain 4x4 surfaces that was in between. So I started out with mapping, went on doing simple projections, projecting content that I created via filming or whatever, creating it like at this time. You got to remember this is like many years ago. So this was the first jobs there, and well, so much for that. So Michelle kept on asked me a third question, which is I think one of the most difficult questions. Is there any advice you would give to somebody who wants to start a career in video projection mapping? And I think that career is a really poorly designed expression, because what is career? Is career an economical, successful business? Economically, I'm sorry, Martin. Is it economic success, or is it fame, like real fame, like you're a famous person? Maybe you don't make money, but you're famous. That might also be a career. Or is it expertise? Is being a professional, being an expert in this field, is that your career? So it's really difficult to differentiate. And I think there are two ways of getting into the business. One is become an expert in one of the fields of projection mapping. And this can be matte painting or motion design or many other things that might actually put together, create a great artwork. Maybe you are a physical genius and you know how physics work and you know how projection works and you are great at setting up projectors at the right angle, or you're a network professional, or maybe you're an operator and you know all about, I don't know, but be an expert, be a real expert. If you don't know about things like virtual shadows, for example, or if you don't know about surface dependent rendering, then you're not an expert in projections. And you're not an expert in mapping. So you're not an expert. You have to become this expert and then work at one of these big agencies where they bring together all these experts and they do something great. The problem there is I can't really continue the bashing of those agencies, but so many agencies just lack the basic or the advanced knowledge of projection mapping and still do those jobs. So I can't really give you any advice if you're starting out in this business, because I don't know why these people are so successful. So yeah, I mean there are many, and the big majority of agencies out there create great artwork and really stunning stuff. But some of them, let's say they suck just a bit. Well, the second path to working in projection mapping is to become an all-rounder, to become an all-rounder who can do many things, who knows how to create the content, who knows how to map it, who knows how to handle a media server and all that. So maybe that is a way to go into the business. For me, it was this way. I was trying out things, and I didn't really know. I was calling it film projections and digital art, and this was the business I was starting, and this is actually the business I'm running right now. So the latest work is together with a choreographer here in Germany, doing something completely digital, which I will announce here on the channel when it's kind of ready, but we're on our way to do something completely digital, which is also great. And yeah, so I can't really tell you how to become successful in this business. Just do things. I mean, learn, practice, learn, practice, learn, practice. 10,000 hours, as we know. So 6 years at least. Do whatever you can do. So, and that actually answers a question by a viewer from Nigeria. Okay, I didn't know I was that famous all around the world. So thanks to you, thanks to YouTube. That's great. The question was, is it good to buy your own projector? And the answer is yes. Please do so, but you should not buy a big projector and try to go straight into projection mapping and find big customers who pay you the money for that. Just get get one like this. Let me cover the brand. Get a cheap one like this really cheap one. This was my first projector I bought. This was the very first one I bought when I found out that I need to practice. And if you are maybe now these little things, let me also cover the brand here. So these little things, they are also pretty good to, well, just practice. Point it to something, connect it to your computer, and then start to create your content on something. And because projection is not creating for a screen. That's really important to understand, that if you create great content and great footage for the screen, for a computer screen or for a phone screen, then you still don't know how to create content for a big screen like a house or some big thing on stage. So get used to that by kind of onto some wall or something, and just try out things, try things out there, because whatever I tell you now is obsolete tomorrow, because there is no real knowledge in projection mapping. To be absolutely honest, this there is no, well, there is now one, or maybe there are more universities. The University of Applied Sciences or Applied Arts in Düsseldorf, the Hochschule Düsseldorf. There you can now study projection mapping. This is the course I'm giving, and there's some more all around the world, but not many. You can't just sign in and yeah, study projection mapping or study projection design. So maybe that's the best thing. But buy a cheap computer and cheaper projector and work with it and try things out and do things. I'm pretty sure this is, yeah, the best advice I can give here right now. So let me see. Can you guide how a beginner to start? As beginners, what type of work would improve and showcase our projects? Oh, that's a good question. What kind of work? Of course, the kind of work that references you as an artist the best way. I mean, projection mapping is really easy. When I did this this project in Düsseldorf, you know, the one that I just showed you, the software we were using wasn't even able to deal with homography properly. So the lines, the crossing lines of the image just started to bend and all that. So all this has been like ironed out. Now software is really, I mean, it's affordable, if not free. You can really easily map on anything. You can create, like, with free software and just a camera, you can create a photogrammetry model of what you're projecting on. So 3D mapping is now really easy. So this is not what you're going to stand out with. What you're going to stand out with is the artistic work you put in. Like, I've seen projection mappings where they would have a house and there was a whale on it, and I asked, what was the whale doing there? And they said, yeah, well, we had it. So this is not what I'm talking about when I'm talking about artistic projection mapping. So it would be great to just be sure that the stuff you create has some artistic value. And if it has artistic value, people will see it, people will be stunned by it, and people will ask you to do something for them. But never, 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 never work for free. There's always three kinds of payment. There's one for your purse. You get money, that's it, fine. There's that other payment, it's good for your career. And be very careful about that second payment kind. If it's good for your career, be sure it's really good for your career and not for the career of the one who books you. So if I tell you, well, I have this project running and I don't have budget right now, and you have heard those, heard those sentences so often, I guess. I don't have money right now, but next time it's going to be a big. Well, if we succeed now, we have big money next time, and we can. Why don't they collect the money right now and then pay you for it? Or why don't they ask you to be part of it? But then, I mean, exposure is also really, really a bad payment. So don't fall for collaboration or exposure or next time we pay you. If it's good for your career and you can see that in terms of how big is your name on the poster, are you part of the whole thing, or are you just delivering content for a mapping? So that second payment, is it good for your career? Meaning, does it at some point lead to paid jobs? And then there's this third payment, which I like most. It's fun. Is it fun to do the project? And most likely it might be kind of fun, but if you're working for free and you're not really sort of participating, you're not one of those people who do the thing, if it's not your project, then most likely it's not going to be the kind of fun thing. So yeah, those are the 3 points here. Let's see, more questions coming on in the if you're unexperienced, I mean, there's only 12 viewers right now, so I don't know. But if you're unexperienced mapping specialist, type your view of the thing in the chat, please. Make yourself known, and tell me that I'm wrong, maybe. But I guess we're all feeling the same thing. Like, it's just, yeah, mapping is. Let me continue with the questions. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're welcome, Noel. Yeah, that was far away. Noel lives far away from here, where it's actually a little warmer than here. This is like 5 degrees Celsius today. Really, really, really cold. Okay. Next question was about the workflow. How do you? I mean, the workflow between this director calling you and asking you if you could do something, and then you creating the whole mapping and people watching the mapping somewhere, some in a theater or on a house or on a car, whatever. And it's really difficult. The workflow should start with an idea. It would be great if people had an idea which I mean, there is the Bible starts with this. I'm not really religious, so I can't really tell you about the Bible, but I think it starts with those words. In the beginning there was the Word, and actually it's referring to the Greek expression logos, which means the meaning of something, the fundamental idea behind something. So if we're talking about logos, the idea behind something, there should be some really good idea that people approach you with, and most times they don't reveal this idea. They don't come to you and say, I want to do, and then follow this big idea. They say, we would need some video projections. And then it's your job to get to this main big idea behind the thing as soon as possible. And if there is no idea behind it, well, then better just leave the job, unless it's really well paid, because you're going to go struggling for all the project because of some diffuse idea that has never been sort of pointed out properly and written down in clear words so you can repeat it yourself and you can understand the idea. Because if you're not understanding the idea, then what are you doing? You're creating images. Images are signs, and signs should be kind of, yeah, they should mean something. So the worst thing is this diffuse. The worst thing I think are diffuse negative definitions. Like if somebody tries to define an image by negative attributes, like saying it should not look like a screensaver. That is not. That's not an order. That's not something you can follow. That's not an idea you can follow. It's just something you have to avoid. And then there's this thing. What is a screensaver? I mean, a good screensaver is actually great footage that you can place anywhere because it's this abstract footage. This would be my idea of the ideal screensaver. If you are confronted with these diffuse negative, run. Just run. Don't hesitate. Just run. You will run later in the project, so you can also run now. Because if there is no fundamental idea behind it, then maybe you're going to end up somewhere in this struggle between realizing a project and it's not going to happen. And or it's going to happen, but it's going to happen in a way that you don't want your name on it. And as I said, working for free is like the worst idea, but do it if you think there is a platform for your work and for your artwork. But be sure you have artwork that you can present. I've done jobs for free or for really small money, and then because I didn't get paid, I wasn't that important. So people would actually cut away video and say, all right, yeah, we don't need video here, we don't need video here, we don't need, and you end up sitting there. It's better to sit in your hotel room, having provided 100% of video and they use 10%, but you're being paid well, than the same situation and you sit in a shitty hotel room that you pay yourself and you didn't make any money. So think about that. Okay, let me see. Let me go to the chat for a second. Vishal, totally unexperienced isn't true. You still lived up to this point, so you have some experience. There is nothing like unexperienced, but I agree. To become an expert, you should spend a lot of time, like really practice, and look at things and try to understand things. So the only way I got where I am, and I don't think I'm in a perfect place. You see this is not a fancy YouTube studio, and I'm doing this on a small camera and running it on the computer that I carry around. But I have fun doing my work. So and I have fun actually. Just giving some of the knowledge away, so that's fine. So I really hope I appreciate all you guys being here. This is a big honor to have like 5,000 and something subscribers who are interested in what I'm gobbling about. So that's cool. I didn't think that would happen. So yeah, here we are. My experience is, well, I did this for a very long time, but I did not only do this. I also studied music. I worked as a dramaturg for dance. I cooked. I did many other things. So unexperienced, maybe experienced in other realms. So try to take this experience into what you're doing, because what you're doing in projection mapping is not only just mapping. It's not a physical process. So I guess that's. Yeah. Don't worry, it's all going to be fine. Let me get to some samples of how I get approached with projects, and I'm gonna take two examples I'm gonna just use one example. Leila, I'm sorry, Leila. I'm gonna reread your email to fully understand what you're planning, so I can actually grasp what you're up to and where we're going. Because I received this email and it was really interesting, and it was written in a form that I couldn't actually resist reading through it and say, okay, that sounds really interesting. But it wasn't as I didn't understand the words. That's very simple, and some of it I understood, but I just didn't grasp the whole idea. Same happened here with a viewer called Shaz, who I like for his approach. Oops. And he sent me an email explaining a project that was in relation with numbers. Let's call it a artistic mathematical approach. And I'm just gonna quickly show one of the images he sent me. And well, this looks like a screensaver. No, it doesn't look like a screensaver. This is a very special thing. It's calculated. It's math manifesting in images, and I didn't understand the concept. I really didn't understand the concept. So I shifted this email from time to time. And let me give you one very important. Wait, let me just show you another one of these images, because he said I should use them. This is very bad resolution. Don't worry. And I like those, especially because I don't know how they originated. You know my fable for fractals and 3D fractals and all that, and how I spend months and months on creating stuff that I don't understand. So basically, what Shez was asking me was, would I be part of a project, or could I help him, like, with knowledge in a project? And then he explained the project, and I just didn't understand it. So let me give you this one advice. If it sounds interesting enough for you to participate in it, and maybe one of you is close enough to Shez, so maybe they reach out, and maybe somebody reaches out, and just if it's interesting enough, just go meet the guy who had this idea, and have him explain it over and over and over again, because maybe there is something behind it, and you have to do it. This is how most of the bigger projects that I did. So most of not bigger projects in terms of a big project like in mapping, but most of the bigger artistic approaches that I took to technology happened on a coffee table or walking in a park, and just explaining what I had in mind, what could actually possibly happen, maybe happen sometime. And someday this must be possible, and all of a sudden you find yourself in this rabbit hole of ideas, of technology, and you're trying to put those things together. And it's the same thing with every artistic project in media art, I guess. Nobody really knows where we're ending up. So if you have the idea and you can't explain it to the other people properly, make them ask you about it. Make them ask you about this idea, and then explain it again from the other side, and then again from the other side, and then again from the other side, and sometimes you get the idea. And then you can form something, because there is the big problem with projection mapping. There is a certain, time where we develop the artistic ideas, and then all of a sudden it turns completely technical, and we have to be really sure that we can do it technically. And there's machines involved, there's big money involved most times, and there is software involved that we have to sometimes also program ourselves. So yeah, but the beginning is important. I'm gobbling around now. Sam is writing. Oh, thank you, Sam. Yes, I appreciate that my videos also artistically helped a little. I wouldn't consider myself much of an artist, especially not in what I do, like if it's only the tinkling of things. But this is just me not being self-confident enough to tell myself that I'm an artist. I guess it would be easier if I would. Noel asks, do you have any ideas of how to figure out what a fair price to charge for work? Yeah, a fair price. Ooh, the fair price. Okay, so a fair price is when, after taking away your cost that you had for buying those big computers, for buying this projector you practiced on, for traveling there, for being there, like after deducted all these costs, you make a little more than the amount of money than you would need in the time you were working on this project. This is, I think this is the fair amount. There is two big caveats with that. One is, how much do you need to live? And actually, how long would you have lived? Well, how long is this project? And the project, this is the point. If I'm going somewhere for one day, I'm not going there for one day and then that's it, and next day I'm going somewhere else. If I'm going there for one day, I prepare another day at least, or 2 days of preparation. Then I travel, then I have this 1 day of working, then I go back, then I write an invoice and all that. So all this is the time you spend with the project, and this is the time you have to allocate. And if you do something really special, then have in mind that maybe people don't ask you every day. So maybe this project takes until the next project starts. So take this time, then try to find out how much money you would have needed to live there, like for rent, food, pink things. And then afterwards, you have, after calculating this and your cost, putting on top, you have the amount and charge that. It is really difficult. It is really difficult. I've seen invoices ranging from 50 euros per day, which is an absolute madness, because here, even here in Germany, you have to pay insurance and stuff, up to 5,000 a day for an expert in well, mapping and using a media server. This is what I would say the average technician would make something like 200, and if you're an artist, you should be above that. Otherwise, that's not a good idea and good deal. So, but this is not. I'm not telling you to accept everything that goes over 200. Just don't. This is based on German fees, and it's actually definitely not enough if you're not working like 30 days a month. So even then, it's not enough. You have to calculate the cost that you have. Otherwise, you can't really estimate any amount. Ham Solo, okay. So there's Sam Nolan and Ham Solo. Okay, Ham Solo. Ham Solo asks, are you familiar with the transparent material that you can project on, made in the Netherlands? I think, I'm not sure, you're not talking about InViscreen, because the InViscreen is being produced somewhere else and is sold by a German company. I am familiar with the InViscreen, and if you look, I'm at later on I will link below. Oh, I have to write this down. I will link below the video that I made about the InViscreen, which is a transparent film that you apply onto glass, and which allows you to project onto glass, which is great. But at the same time, you always have to remember why you're projecting on glass. So there needs to be a reason to project on glass. And basically, if you're projecting on glass, obviously this is the surface you want to project on. This is the surface that needs your information. So if the information is on the glass, what is behind the glass? Maximilian Benjamin says, definitely. I agree, definitely. I don't know which what to, but yes, thanks. Yeah, definitely go there. Okay, we were briefly talking about, and I'm gonna cut this short because Gerald Undone is doing a live stream over on his. I know, no, it's not on his channel, but it might be linked. Just hit up Gerald Undone on his Twitter, and you might find where he's going. He's gonna talk about interesting things. I guess we're gonna all go there after this, yeah. So I'm gonna cut it short, because this is also talking about something that is absolutely unrelated to the physical work of projection mapping. So I'm gonna go back to the next video. I promise to all those viewers who actually came here not to see me talking, but to see me teaching some I don't know, some stuff that I don't have any idea about. So apologies. Next thing will be a tutorial or something. I'm planning on doing some more tutorials when the winter is starting and if all this other work is done. But just remember to differentiate between projections and creating images. And this is so important, especially for those those of you out there who are VJs and working as VJs. If you're projecting content that is made for a screen, then you will never leave this screen. People will watch it and then you will go. It's never immersive if you're just thinking about images for a screen. Create for a projection. You're creating for an immersive room. You're creating for a space with people in it. So there is people in this space, and you are creating footage for this space and for the people in this space. So don't create films. Don't create whatever it is. I mean, most of you are creating stunning artworks, so I'm really glad I have this community around. So all my viewers that I frequently look at their YouTube channels or what they do on Facebook or something. So there's really stunning stuff out there. Feel free to use the comment sections to connect to each other and hook up with each other in terms of creating stuff for each other. But if you're creating for a space, you're always creating for a space. You're not just creating for the screen. And always keep this in mind. Even if you create stunning films for the screen, you might not be able to create great content for a projection because it's just too fast, too big, too whatever. Think about that. Spend more time projecting on bigger things, or just spend more time to project in a model and sit in front of it, really stare into the model, and get used to this new kind of size, the bigger than life size of projections. That's important. Oops, I missed out on some of the stuff here. Yeah, more than just projecting images. It's really important. What you're dealing with is light. You're creating light, and this light has a form and some color, and it moves, but you're not just putting images somewhere. This is the difference between projecting and filming, as I said. So this is the biggest difference between the workflows between creating content and projecting. Portfolio. How do you build your portfolio? That is a very good question. I mean, we talked about portfolio earlier, and I think I missed out on something that I can somebody just comment in the chat that I said I'm gonna talk about something later, and now I forgot. I'm getting old, actually. I'm getting really old. You know, these are bifocal glasses, as you might know as a viewer of this channel. So I'm getting really old. I'm getting a little forgetful. Okay, so we were talking about the portfolio, and portfolio is really important nowadays. I don't know why, but people just don't watch a piece and then they ask who did the projections. And yeah, I now remember. I think I remember who it was. But thanks if you can write it down still. And ask questions if you have any questions. I mean, now we're here. Now this is a perfect moment to talk about. The portfolio is really difficult to grasp because you can't properly document projections, because projections happen in a space. So you can take a photo of it, you can take a video of it. Most times the videos that agencies take of their projection mappings are from the sweet spot, from that one spot where the mapping looks great. And if you move like 2 meters from to the side, you see all those virtual shadows and all the movements going the wrong direction all over the place, and nothing really works out. But they take the video from this one place, everything is calculated from, so they can present a great work and then do some more work. So some agencies are, well, they do some tricky stuff there. Not naming people. So to create a portfolio is really difficult, and the best thing I found out is just, well, I have some photos on my homepage and you can go there. It's 7pc.de if you want to. But I guess the YouTube channel is still the best place to present my stuff as I feel it. You have to find your own way to build a portfolio. Make stunning photos as soon as you can. This is something I always forget. I mean, I run around with this camera filming myself and filming everything, and then when it comes to working, I put the camera down and sit in front of the computer and I work, and I don't take any photos of what I do. This is just so stupid. Why do I do this? Why? Yeah, I have to change that. That has to end. So basically, what I was talking about, let me see if somebody okay. Noel, you're welcome. Yeah, never just create images. Always create the end product. Always create what is there for the viewer. So it's a projection. Well, create a projection. Don't create a film. Create a projection. What I was talking about earlier was there are those directors and stage designers and those artistic directors who I work with frequently. There is some of them, sorry. Some of them have been there for years and years, like decades. And I've been working with them for decades, and it's really a rewarding feeling to understand the language. It's something that you develop. The workflow at the beginning is like kind of, you try to understand the idea, and then finally you get to the idea and you try to build something around this idea, and maybe you got it wrong. And the process of getting there more easily is shorter every time you meet somebody again. So let me tell you the story about one of the stage designers I work with, and I adore his work. It's Heinz Baltes. Heinz, if you ever watch this, it was so great to work with you. I would love to continue that work at some point. But yeah, he retired in a nice place. Okay, but put it together. We were talking about a sea, some tormentous sea, like a tempest. And he was describing it with his hands, and he said, yeah, there needs to be water, and he used the expression, Psh. I didn't know what to do with this. I wouldn't have known what to do with this when I was like a few years before, when we did the first thing together. But then when I actually knew what he was talking about, this meant something to me, and I created something. And I really hope, Heinz, I really hope this was the right thing. The sea, the tempest we did for Othello, it was a very poor design. Looking at it later on, but it was in the early days, and you would create things from nothing. So you couldn't just go somewhere and download some footage, or go somewhere with a drone and film something. So you had to create, and it was a horrible process, and the end result was definitely nothing I would look at again. But the process of understanding the idea was so quick because we understood the language. Now I'm working a lot with another stage designer who I also adore, Florian Papst. You might have seen him in many other videos, and transferring the ideas from his brain to my brain now happens really fast. But this took us 10 years of continuous collaborations, working together on pieces and understanding. And also, this is I can't emphasize it enough. If you read books, if you listen to music, if you watch film, and recommend it, take the book and give it to somebody. If they are at your place to visit you, just show them what books you're reading right now, because this is the foundation of the ideas that you try to put out there. So those books and those ideas, the music you're listening to, and the films you're watching, the talks you're having, this is important information that I lack if I just come as somebody who does a creation for you. So you invite me to your office and you explain the project and you want this to happen, like that. And if there is an idea below that, like there's underneath all this talk about technology and money and all that, or time and all that, below that there is a level of idea. And this idea I can only understand if I understand what you're thinking, how you're thinking. And this is also why I love to spend time in a town when I work there in a theater, because it's not only the idea of the director, it's also the ideas of the spectators. So whoever watches my stuff has lived in this city and they have their own correlations to the images I put out there. Easiest thing, we did a stunning projection of a tormenta, a storm in Mallorca, which is the Mittelmeer, like the Mediterranean Sea. And a storm there is like, okay. And we brought the same piece to Gran Canaria, where the waves are far higher because Gran Canaria is in the Atlantic Ocean, so they are used to different storms. They didn't understand my idea of a storm, and they didn't understand my images. They said, "Oh, okay, that's pretty boring," because the kind of waves that were enough for Mallorca, they weren't enough for Gran Canaria. So we had to develop something stronger there. So basically, what I'm saying is, the day-to-day life and the experiences and everything that your spectators have in their brains when they watch your stuff adds to your images. So whenever you create something, you're creating it for a space with people in it. So you're creating a projection for people who have their own experiences and they have their own world of images. So you have to correlate with that. You can present them with something that you created yourself, but don't expect them to understand your idea immediately. And that goes back to the director, back to the production. Yeah, Paul, yeah. Paul Christian Onofray, yeah, I hope I pronounced this right. Yes. Hi. A portfolio is very important, but it's really difficult to understand what the best form of a portfolio is. So I'm not really sure if a portfolio is something that I don't I have no idea. I can't tell you. The best portfolio is perhaps something that somebody else did for you. So I know projection designers and I know mapping agencies who just hire a photographer to take photos of the projection, because if you do it yourself, oh, you're ending up somewhere. So I hugely rely on these great colleagues, the photographers who take the photos of the rehearsals, of the end rehearsals of the pieces that I do my projections in. Most times they concentrate on the great people on the stage, which is understandable. And most times they concentrate on the stage themselves. But sometimes the projection is in it. And I really love those images because they are from a different angle. And I have a new view onto the things that I've been working on for weeks when I put them out. So yeah, get somebody to do it. Let me see. Did I forget somebody? I hope I didn't. Let me just check. Let me just check back on Twitter, because I'm guessing I shouldn't actually call you out on Twitter to ask me anything if I'm not answering back. Yeah, thank you, Mary. You're welcome. And well, while this is going on, I'm sure I kind of answered many of the questions that you sent me, but I'm not sure. I might actually. Yeah. Oh, there is more. Yeah, Gerald. Now you're happy. Yeah, I'm ending this before you're live. I hope on Gerald Undon's channel Twitter there is some link to the thing we're watching in 20 minutes. Okay, I think I answered many of the questions that you sent me, but as usual, there are more questions coming up. So basically, comment below if there is something. I try to read all the comments, which is easy because there are not too many of them, because this channel is a niche channel, and it's really niche because what we're doing in projection mapping is something that not many people do, and it's becoming more and more. That's great. And yeah, just stay with the channel if you want to subscribe to the channel, because well, I guess all of you live viewers are subscribed already, because why else would you have found this? Share it, share the channel, share any of the tutorials you like. Well, and I guess if oh, wait a second. The second when you want to leave, huh? Yes. Pure Kiki? That is right. I think the question that came up here is actually headed out to everybody else also. If you have work you wanna share, there is a few really good pages on Facebook. One is you can actually, I'm a member to all of them. I will try to link them below. There is one as Projection Mapping World International, I guess, where there is many people meeting, and this is a good grounds to show your work and have feedback on the work. Also, what is a good idea is to just put it up on YouTube if you do something, and just have people watch it, and don't be afraid of the comments or everything. Yes, of course, there's mean comments everywhere, and I'm gonna do on Christmas. I'm gonna do a reading the meanest comments. So feel free to comment as mean as you want to. I will ignore it. And I'm guessing that that this YouTube, Facebook realm is the right realm to share those those questions. If you have created something that you wanna put out there, then just do that. Let me go through some of the questions here. I should have collected them more properly. Are there calculators for distance and lumens? Well, there are no calculators for distance and lumens that work. That's the problem. That's the problem. You can, well, the calculation is easy, but the problem is, well, lumens is lux per square meter, so that's easy. So you have the lumens that you put out there and divide that. That is not helping, I guess. If you are calculating the distance between your projector and where you're projecting on, and you are creating this image, there is the lens calculation that you can make. There is certain pages out there that you can use. All those lens calculators have one big problem. They don't know the size of the chip that's inside, so that's a big flaw. So use what the suppliers of the projectors put in there, like this relation between, like 1 to 1.75 as the relation between distance and size. So you have the size that's well, divided by 16 times 9 or times 10 for an HD. Well, 16 by 9, whatever, 16 by 10. Then you have the size, then you have the square meters, and that's your square meters. And when you size it up, well, the lumens that you're calculating is actually lux per square meter. So I'm gonna link below the what projector should I buy video that I made. I explained it far better there, I guess. I hope I'm explaining it a little better, because this is a mess. No, I wasn't mentioning Showtex. But if Showtex is in your realm, then go for Showtex. Material, there's this kind of small problem that I have, that I really like Garriott's products, and I keep recommending them, and just keep this take it with a grain of salt when I recommend Garriott's products. It's like some photographer or filmer recommending Sony all over the place, or Lumix, whatever. So I'm recommending Garriott's. It's GERRIETS.com, where you can access the shop. This is blatant advertisement. No, I'm not being paid for it, so it's not blatant advertisement. It's just one of the brands I like the most. There is also Tüchler, and there's also Showtex, and there are many others who provide great textile. I'm not sure. I think Showtex has also got some hologauze and stuff happening. I'm not sure. But we're talking about projection materials here, so if it's about mapping, then you wouldn't put material on it. If it's in a theater, yeah, you would go for material. I just put away a roll of material. I should actually repeat what I did with my students today, like have all these materials out there and compare and all that. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with Lumetrix projectors. That's one of the well the downsides of being so busy right now. I just can't get my hands onto all those products. If there is any supplier or anybody dealing with projectors out there, I love to put my hands on machines and see how they work. It's just I obviously can't provide those great reviews that people are expecting from me. So whenever somebody sends me a projector, I say, oh, yeah, that's great, but I don't have the hole to test it in, and I'm traveling so much that I'm coming back home to find those projectors somewhere after traveling, and I thought, oh, that projector would have been great for the project that I was doing. So Lumetrix, no, I should be, I guess. Tips for artists from events to get into theater, opera. Okay, any tips for the artists of events, like VJs or people who produce to get into opera and theater? A tip: no, don't go there. They pay really bad. No, I'm joking. You can make a living of doing projections in the theater. Okay, let me get back to this. I studied music, and okay, you might not know this and you might not hear this, but actually I grew up with opera, and I was very deep inside the theater when I started doing video projections, because back then video projections wouldn't just happen because the projectors were so weak. You would pay thousands and thousands for 1,000 lumens, and it would be these huge machines that you couldn't handle. So my start was in theater, and then I put projections into it. And I'm sorry for everybody who tries to do projections in a theater, for the bashing they receive by people in the theater, and from the bashing they receive from critics when they say that was unnecessary video in theater. There is a reason for that, and it's theater is a very delicate thing, theater and opera. And if you just comment on what's happening on stage, if somebody sings about the woods of something and you just present some trees, that is not what projection in theater is about. You have to abstract the ideas, and that process takes a long time. And what I would recommend is, instead of going directly into opera and theater, is do some of the stuff that you do on the basis of some piece or some book. Take a text, take some novel, take some drama, and create on top of the idea, not the words of the drama, the idea of the drama. So create something. I don't know. Here's a task for everybody who wanted to know how to create artwork and create content for theater. You take either Hamlet or Macbeth or Die Räuber by Schiller. Read this, and next time you do something in a club, present artwork that is based on the idea of the piece. Well, so the job is to extract the idea of the piece, extract everything that's in there, like the people and the situations and all that, and the basic idea why this piece is out there, because there is a reason for these pieces to be out there. There was something they wanted to tell us. And then take that into images and project those images. If you do fine with that, and if people like it, if they like it, even if they are in a club dancing, then you did the right job. Because it's not about where you do this stuff, it's more like what you do. I'm not good at this neither, so don't ask me. Lumetrix. Okay. So what Ham Solo tells me is it sounds a bit like Lightform, like the Lightform, this Lightform thing. People at Lightform, if you ever see this, or if anybody has a connection to Lightform, can you please send me one of these things? I'm lost here. I don't want to buy one. I'm calling myself a mapping expert, so I should actually not buy a tool that makes it easy. That's like buying a car, a self-driven car, if you are pretending to be a taxi driver. Okay, one more. Maybe I forgot somebody. I hope I didn't forget anybody. I think it's time we wrap this up. Thanks for being here. Thanks for spending time with me. Thanks for sharing whatever is worth sharing on this channel. And I would be glad to see you here next time when I do a live stream, which is hopefully a little better than this one, and more fluent. And I have to get fluent in this. It's a little. It's a shame that I can't see you, but I have to get used to this, I guess. So well, if you like what I did, then subscribe to the